What's up, guys? Zach here from Crew 42 with your back nine coverage of round 2 lead card here at Fallasburg Park in Lowell, Michigan, one of Grand Rapids' favorite courses out in this area. Super excited to have you guys. I am Zach, and with me commentating, I have Donut. How you doing, Donut?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Super excited to have this coverage here. Our Lumberjacks Disc Stop Science and Engraving, Zuka, Innova, Disc Bear, and Zanfeld, Grand Rapids Disc Golf Tour, and the Taj Twins. Thank you guys for helping make tournaments like this possible. Front nine scores right here has been a little rough for a couple holes there. Some unfortunate misses, but hopefully we'll be able to turn around here on the back nine. A little more attackable score-wise, so hopefully these guys can get back on track and get hot. Here we have hole 10, 214 feet par 3. I'm taking the central gap with the drone right here, which is a common play, but a lot of people will also take the right wide hyzer look trying to attack this basket. We'll probably see a couple guys do that, like Willie, who did that in round 1. So interesting hole here.
The hyzer play, you almost go pin high, but like 60 feet wide, and then try to like bank it back in last second with a real overstable driver. Speaking on the back nine being more attackable, that is not referring to hole 10. It's a bonus birdie for sure.
Yeah.
This is not something we're going to see any sort of star frame on anytime soon.
Yeah, I can't imagine even top 4 players in the world all come together on this hole. I bet one of them won't birdie it.
This wind doesn't make it easier either.
Yeah, you can see it going from left to right pretty aggressively with those leaves here. Dan's taking the wide route after the first two try to go up middle. And that's a pretty common spot. You're going to, being short as well on the very front end of that hill is a common spot for most people to land.
Difficult to make it in from there, but easy 3.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of pars on this hole, as difficult as it may be. The 2 is certainly possible, and you can get into trouble and take some 4s, but there's going to be a lot of pars.
Yeah.
There's got a lot of good drives that don't go perfect that are easy up and downs.
Yes. Here's Willie now. He's also going wide. Like
that might be a little sawed off still.
Yeah, it's a little deceptive. He's actually almost on top of the hill there, so he'll actually have a clean look. Probably 30 feet, but
certainly a tough putt though.
Yeah. Here's Bryce after an unfortunate tree hit off the beginning. So he's going to go big thumber, had to go straight up, and the wind just kept blowing it and pushing it, and so he's still down at the bottom of the valley here, and so he's going to have to give another kind of scramble look here.
Yeah, a lot of times those thumbers and tomahawks are a great idea on a hole like this, where you're trying to cut off some height. That's
Doombird.
nuts.
Yeah, that was insane. I couldn't see it right off his hand, but when it got past those trees, I was like, oh, that's going in.
But you're trying to cut off a lot of that height and try to create bizarre lines through the trees and those. But with this wind, showing the face of the disc to the wind is such a bad deal because it gets pushed super far and you get no control with your disc straight up and down like that.
Dan almost identical from round 1, having a pretty good run at the basket and hitting one of those last guardian trees. Here's Ian now, also a free run here. And he, like, just as quick as that, like 2 minutes ago, it hits that same tree that Dan did. But 2 minutes ago, it was cloudy and windy and ugly, and now 2 minutes later, it is sunny and the wind is starting to die down. Just really bizarre weather all day, and Willie with a good look, just a touch short.
Yeah, that was a real high basket from where he was sitting.
Yeah, definitely feels very elevated.
It's so hard to get those putts up in the air. Mm-hmm. But the problem is the high miss is so much worse than the low miss.
Right. Willie's not one, to shy away from getting super aggressive, but that kind of high putt and miss might be very, very bad there. And Bryce sneaking away with getting that putt in without being on camera. Pretty hard to do with me, so congratulations to him to sneak one in there.
Mr. Latinga even going through his unusual hyzer routine from 3 foot out.
Yep, he has his routine and he sticks to it. All right, hole 11 now, 279 feet. The drone's going to go through the wide right gap. You really want to split it right between these 2 trees with a really overstable driver. Attack into this gap and try to get a big skip up towards the basket is the pro play to make. There is an inside gap. It is very dangerous. I wouldn't be daring enough to try to attack it, but some guys have kind of discovered that route and they really go for it. So
kind of the local plays to go in the center.
I mean, I'm certain there's somebody out there that hits that inside gap, which Noah is actually opting for.
I guess he's kind of a local guy, right?
I don't know if he lives in Grand Rapids right now. I know he's from the Plano area growing up. I'm not sure where he's at currently. This might be one of his local courses.
We're going to see a lot of this, is what Dan did.
And Dan kisses that tree and it kicks it way to the right. Otherwise, that would have been hot.
Yeah, there are even 2 gaps almost on that wide line. You can hang it out way too wide and then try to come back at the basket and almost leave yourself long, which is fine. Or there's the inside where Ian's going.
Ian is going to the inside there, yeah. And oh my goodness, it's so brutal. That literally needed to miss it 6 inches right, and that would have been going up to the basket.
Yeah, maybe the mistake, if there was one there, was leaving it too low. Because
yeah.
there's a few bushes. It's not like he hit the only one. Right. But you really want to be high coming in. But that's still a good shot. He's got a free run towards the basket into the backdrop. And another one going up the gut.
Yep. I think this is a more aggressive line that allows you to attack the basket without having to throw harder. But it's just a line I would not take. And he's actually gone long and almost to the next pad's fairway.
I'm sure the left to right wind doesn't help the inside route.
No, and Noah with a good tree kick there, showing his love back to
he knows he got away with something there.
Quick update here. While we were playing around, we actually crossed over with our chase cards, so I got a free shot with Reed throwing a beautiful lefty up to the basket. I think he saved his par for there.
He went with a costume change in between rounds, but still kept on to the
basket.
Lowe's sponsored, not sponsored, Discraft basket.
Super cool looking basket. I was so glad he brought that out today. So got to chat with him a little bit. Interesting fact from his chase card. He is actually shooting really well right now.
Good for
him. Some of the guys in the cards kind of figured that. And so definitely putting some pressure on some of the guys trying to get a couple birdies here and try to get themselves in position to stay in second place over him. But he's a tough player, so you never know what might happen. Here's coming out of the woods, just over the top of the basket. Pretty safe run there.
Can be tough for a player like Reed being kind of the favorite to this tournament, especially just with his rating.
Yeah.
I don't know about the course itself or how much he's played this, but he's the rating-wise by far the best player in this tournament.
Right.
And to find yourself not on lead card for round 2 can be really frustrating, but it's good to hear that he's made the mental adjustment to be able to attack.
Yeah, and he's a touring pro. He's a real professional, and he does, he's been in these situations before where he knows that he's capable of being in, lead card or be winning a tournament, and when he's not in that position, kind of switching his mental game and getting himself in the right spot so that he can make a run. So
2 good pars here, tapping in. That's kind of what we're going to see on this hole in the windy days. The birdie's going to be really, really, really tough to attack.
Yep.
Probably a par frame.
I know I keep, mentioning the weather constantly, but the weather's already back to dark. It's just, I can't express enough how weird the weather was today. It's just, even I, who was just doing camera work, was thrown off by it, and so that was a weird catch from the chain there. Almost wanted to push the disc right out.
Yeah, he tried to get a lot of nose down in there to get the disc in as quickly as possible. But.
Yep. Willie, the only unlucky bogey there, getting an unlucky tree kick early, but heading to hole 12 now, looking to recover there. Another dead straight shot, 277 feet. That's where Reed was just a moment ago. Really looking to maybe throw a mid-range, but a throwing putter ideally, probably. Something dead straight that will fade maybe just a touch left at the end. You really just got to avoid the trees right off the tee box there to give yourself an easy 3 look. So Noah's going to be starting us off here. He throws it right down the pipe. This is looking good. Needs a little extra skip off there. And he gets it pretty close there. It's going to be circle's edge maybe, just outside 35, 36 feet maybe.
Tough to ask for much more on this hole. He wanted a little more speed out of his disc, but, that's pretty close to the perfect shot.
Yeah, perfect line for sure.
Dan with an unfortunate misfire.
Yeah, which is really rare for him.
He just ripped it super far left. That came out of his hand wrong.
So we'll see what he's got up his sleeve to try to recover that. Here's Ian. And
Ian going the hyzer route. Really the same line, but a different flight.
Yep, and that one was just too low out of his hand. He knew it. Just going to choke up short, so he's going to have to try to go up and down from there for his 3. And here's Bryce. He kept that on the inside route. I'm not sure what this is, but it flipped over a little more than I expected. He's going to scoot even closer. He'll be 25 feet out probably. Willie going, looks like, with that wasp again. He throws that so well. He's going right at me. He's put himself 20 feet away from the basket, so pretty good. All right, here's that one you were talking about, the one forehand.
Oh, he's got the one of the round. He did one last round.
Yep.
And going for hole 12 today. Is it going to be perfect?
It's
good power, good stability.
Nicks that tree. I think if he misses that tree, he'd be
hitting the pin.
He'd be awfully close.
Right.
He's still within puttable range.
Yeah, with that spin putt though, and especially on the windy day, I'm not sure if he's gonna run that or not.
Right.
It is a little ways away.
He's definitely probably got to start thinking about what he needs to do to keep his position here.
Yeah, it looks like this is a layup. Little half bid.
Yeah,
I call it a layup. Oh no, he's banging that one.
Yep.
He's kind of a low run.
Yep.
Try to get the nose down.
It is a little downhill. You can see it in the camera here. It's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit. So high misses might be bad, but Noah there. Good run from him. Not the first time we've seen someone go off the very top of that front cage now. Ian's done it a few times as well.
Yeah, a lot of these players are playing very well off the tee, considering the weather.
Yeah.
But it's definitely affected their putter game. Maybe some cold fingers.
Yeah.
Their form can be deteriorating with this sort of gear they have on.
Yeah.
I'm sure Willie doesn't practice putting with that gigantic glove on.
Right. Correct.
That can't be part of his routine.
Yeah, and I think with the weather switching back and forth too, it's hard to get into a rhythm, right? You warm your fingers up a little bit, you feel a little better, then all of a sudden it gets back to cold and you're like trying to put layers back on.
Right. Your knees get stiff, your toes don't feel right, maybe you changed your shoes because you're worried about the wetness.
Noah's at least having a good time as he goes between the legs for his putt. Oh, dancing away as well.
Yeah, maybe he likes this weather. He looks like the kind of guy that might thrive in the cold here.
Yeah. Hole 13 now, 390 feet. Don't worry about the bad cameraman. It's just Zach. You can yell at him later. Par 3, which is kind of like this hole. It's very hard to describe this hole. It's not a real tweener hole because it's not a par 4. It really doesn't feel like it. But like par 3 seems almost too easy, like too hard. I'm not really sure. It feels...
This is definitely a decision hole.
Yeah.
So we're going to see some players go for this. Willie's going to go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Just how I know he plays. Dan is one of the players where he might feel a little less confident on making this into.
Yep.
So I expect Dan to lay up. The other 3, I'm really not sure. Yeah, Willie's going.
Yeah, so Bryce got kind of lucky there, hit the top of the tree, and he stayed in the fairway rather than going way down the hill. And Willie just crushes this, and he gets a good tree kick from going down that hill, and he'll be circle's edge.
I think part of it is he's so confident in that wall of trees. It's extremely thick that he's just trying to hit it with some amount of speed and try to get the disc to actually go too long.
Yeah.
And then just sit down after hitting the wall.
Right. Noah there actually with a great line, just a touch low though, but he's dead center of the fairway there, so it should be an easy shot for him, hopefully to go up and down for his 3.
And then this gap is, it's pretty wide. It's not like it's the tightest of gaps, but it's 300 feet away from the pad.
Yeah.
You're trying to hit this gap so far away and then get your disc to do something in the gap.
Yeah, 90 feet straight.
Because you got to hit it at an angle. You really want something to turn over. You can't take your super overstable disc. There's not going to be a lot of forces or even destroyers here.
Right. Dan showing us the pretty textbook. He just got something really overstable to fight the wind, let it skip a couple times and get into the fairway there. And then from there, he probably is throwing a harp, I would imagine, just straight up and down. This is textbook 3.
Dan is really putting on a clinic on how you as the viewer should play this hole. If you can throw 300 feet, which a lot of people can, that's how you play this hole. You get a 3 every time.
Yeah.
I bet if Dan played this hole 50 times, he'd get upwards of 45 plus pars.
Yeah.
He'll never get a 2, and that's okay because he'll never get a 4.
Yeah, if he ever gets a 2, it's a throw-in.
Right. But with the Dan Treece layup, he's never really going to get a throw-in either.
Right. Well, I mean, it just depends on what his mental challenge is at that moment,
sure.
right, if he wants to go for it or not. Ian with a good tree kick. I think when he threw this, he thought it went down the hill, so he was a little upset. But once he saw me give him the little signal saying, hey, it's right on the tree, he was pretty happy about that.
We've seen Noah do this like running jump putt a few times.
Yeah.
And he didn't really run it, or I don't know if his mentally was running it, but it kind of sits down next to the basket.
Yep.
But that's where some players find a lot of control, is where they make their body do a lot of things, and so you get some momentum in the disc, and then your arm can relax and focus on keeping everything centered and straight with not a lot of spin and get the disc to sit. And excellent result from an unusual shot.
Willie unable to convert on his birdie putt there, but he should hopefully just have a simple comebacker for him. Bryce trying to get up from the bottom of the hill there. This is before his bogey. This is a tough putt from where he's at.
No way.
Yeah, but he's able to get it, so nice putt from him. That's probably 35, 40 feet.
This is a beautiful shot, 10-foot uphill.
And this is
the bottom of the basket was over his head, too.
Yeah, and this is a death putt, too, because there's a hill going right back down. So as you see Ian Lay get just a touch short there.
Little half run.
Yep. But it's a death putt from where Ian and Bryce were. If you miss, you're going down to the next hill. And
Willie.
Willie with another kind of a miss putt there. He's got to go wide.
Willie is just now maybe getting concerned about Reed and the chase card.
Yes.
Where, I mean, Willie was obviously in a dominant position, down 10 over round 1. That's incredible, and there's very few people in the entire world that can attack that score like Willie did. But now, after this bogey, he's even on the day.
Yeah.
Or on the round. This is the second round of the
Yep.
day. But 10 down over 2 rounds isn't great.
Yeah, it's definitely attackable.
Right.
I know for certain Willie is definitely wanted to probably be about 4 or 5 down at this point right now, especially with some holes coming up that he can attack, like hole 14.
Yeah, I'm sure 6 or 7 was his kind of goal on the second round.
Yep, so it was interesting to see what his mental approach will be going into the last few holes, see how aggressive he gets. This 271-foot hole par 3 downhill the whole way. You really want to throw a putter. If you throw past this basket, this hill is likely to roll you all the way past it, or you're likely to keep going past it. It's very unfriendly to discs, so a lot of people try to land it short and scoot it towards the basket.
Maybe not the best drone flight here, not an expert level flying experience, but shout out to GRDGU for giving us the opportunity to practice the expert drone flight.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Oh, yeah. This is, like I said, it's the second time I've ever flown it. So, and unfortunately, on this particular day as well, I only had 1 battery, so I recorded 3 holes and then drove 20 minutes away to go charge it somewhere and then drove back.
Yeah, you can't get a lot of practice. It's not like you can redo all these unfortunate ones. But
Noah going short and to the right pretty early there, so he's going to have a up the hill putt, probably a 3. He's probably going to lay up. Dan there, probably 35 feet away, maybe 40. He's got a death putt with him with that hill in the background.
Dan's in the position right now with Noah now out in front of him where he might have to running some of these tester putts.
Yeah.
And really trying to bang it through.
Noah's made 0 mistakes technically this entire round, right? He's hit how many pars has he hit? 12 pars and 1 birdie so far today.
And as far as the rest of not only the card, especially the card, he's leading the card on the day. That's
right
at -1.
Him and Dan.
Definitely not how he drew it up, but he's got to be
pretty happy about
not upset.
Yeah,
at the very least. To be beating someone that went 10 down in round 1.
Yeah,
it's got to be at least a good feeling.
He's got a stroke on him right now. Here's Ian now. He's gone deep into the left side there, so he's going to have a real obstructed approach shot here, trying to get up and over the trees, or these bushes, try to get close to the basket. Here's Noah now. He's going with the forehand again. And sit. It looks like it's going to curl up. Don't turn over, though. Yeah, okay. Whew.
That's going to be not the easiest putt. It's going to be
a little
real close to the basket, but way uphill.
Yep. Bit of a tester. I think Noah will be able to get that, though. Ian just trying to play safe here. Almost didn't catch that, but he's actually pretty close to the basket there. Just fluffed it there. And here's Dan.
Dan's got a decision to make here.
Yeah, whether to run this or not. And he ran it.
What a putt from Dan. Outside the circle. He's a spin putter. Death putt. Little uphill.
Nice shot from him.
Definitely nice baskets here, but not some of the real top of the line baskets.
Right, definitely had some weird spit outs. And here's exactly what I was worried about. It's what I was talking about. So Bryce kind of like maybe a half run there, landed just underneath the basket, and because of that weird ground, it flipped it up and rolled it all the way down the hill. And Bryce is trying to get down there on those wet leaves. Luckily able to stay on his feet.
Good recovery from Noah there after his roll away.
Yeah, that little tester there. So see if Bryce can put another big one in. Not quite under the basket, though, so maybe a tap in for bogey.
Bryce having quite the round here. He's made a couple decisions in his game that have not been the best. And then he's also gotten incredibly unfortunate with the basket and the hills and a couple kicks.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of good recoveries on the day, but then maybe had something unfortunate happen, and then one small decision where he gets hard punished for.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing it. Is like he's been making some decisions trying to make recovery shots, and like he's just making that judgment call between that punishment, how bad it is, and he's getting hard punished.
He is showing us like how good of a player he really is, and he does have a real pro level game.
Yeah.
But
he's just getting hard punished on his...
This isn't his round.
And his risks, right? So, hole 15 now, 271 feet, par 3, just like the last one. No, that's not a misprint. This one's a kind of an S-control shot. You want to go from left to right and then have it finish straight. Lots of trees in the way here. A lot of people go right into those skinny trees there. You can see on the right side, usually the mistake people will make.
The widest line on this hole is kind of a flex shot with something like a Firebird, super overstable.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to go putter.
I think they're going putter on this, on like the pro play, because of the lack of punishment.
Yep.
So when you try to hit those large gaps with an overstable disc on the like force over shot, you get some crazy spits way out to the side.
Noah Given shooting, some finger guns towards his disc there with an unlucky kick way left.
That might be the opening that Dan needs here to secure second place. Or even put some more pressure on Willie.
Yeah. Willie actually with a pretty good line, just a touch inside, catches one of those trees, lands in the fairway though. Ian looking to get back on track here, throwing, I think, again, that rock. He loves flipping those rocks over. And it missed quite a bit. Nicks one of the thicker trees at the very end there, kicks him out left. But he should have an open shot. I believe he'll be able to go up and down from that position.
Yeah, he got a lot of distance before that tree kick, so it's not the best line where he is. He doesn't want to be way out into the left, but it's good that he got some distance before it went there.
Yeah, Bryce taking a real tight gap in through those left trees there, but he's able to sneak through, and he is pin high on the left side, so maybe able to convert birdie back into his recovery there. Noah now having to hang this out way wide, and he barely missed that tree by about an inch that he went around.
Yeah, he's going to be happy with his lie there after where he was.
Yep.
To have any sort of look at three from there is really incredible.
Yep. Willie now going right up the gut.
Willie's running.
He pretty much was. That's only like the fifth time he's almost hit me today. Maybe I should have stood closer to the basket so it would go in.
Right.
Man, my bad, Willie. I should have. My bad.
Try to can jam that one in.
Right. So here's Dan here from a bit ways out. He's probably feeling good after that last putt. Dead center. Just a touch too low.
I can't argue with hitting the pin.
I mean, his putting is there. It's just a touch short there. A little ways out. He's having to putt around a couple things.
Yep. Beautiful layup right under the basket.
Yep. Probably gave it a half run there.
He's really just trying to get around the trees, though. His goal wasn't to make it in the basket there.
It's to get close. And he did so nicely. You can see the chase card watching everyone, trying to get a little extra information while they're waiting for the second chase card to finish up the next hole, which is pretty big. Willie with a good putt. He needed that par. He couldn't let that bogey go.
Yeah, he might need some birdies, too. We're not sure exactly where the chase car is at, but we know they're feeling all right.
I know that Willie was talking with some of the other card mates because, at this point we're going to catch up with the chase card on the next tee pad. So they're going to talk a little bit about how everyone's doing. And Willie is fully aware at this point now that Reed's, conversation from earlier when we saw him throwing, Reed is very, very hot right now. Reed is actually shooting pretty close. So Willie's feeling a little bit of pressure right now. We're just waiting for Ian now to
Dan probably wishing he took a stroke on Noah after the 2 drives. Dan's drive was pretty good, and Noah's was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
good recovery, though.
What a recovery shot, and then Dan really not quite being put in the position to make that birdie putt. He just left himself a little long and a little obstructed and couldn't really make a confident run at it.
Right. Hole 16 now, 778, par 5, the only par 5 in the course. This is the hole that Willie just threw a clinic on last round, just crushed it way past these 2 pine trees on the left side there. But really, you're trying to throw in front of that little crescent mark here that you see in the ground there. You want to throw in front of that and then try to give yourself a hyzer look around this tree that the drone's flying over, trying to attack into the space, hopefully giving yourself a look at this basket. But really, it takes 2 throws to get to this basket would be incredible, if not close to impossible without 2 perfect shots. So these guys looking to just take 3 shots, get it close to the basket, and hopefully get a birdie.
For MPL lead card, the goal every time you step on this pad for most players is a 3. They're trying to get a 3. And then after the drive, which probably won't go perfect, which they know, they're likely reevaluating and trying to take a 4.
Yep.
The 5 isn't something you plan on. That's kind of a scramble.
Yep.
But they want to get a 3 from the drive, and then most of the players will pivot and then look at the 4.
Yeah. Even Dan can get a 3 here. He just literally needs this to sit right in the dead center. And this is, with the wind out into with the way the hole is shaped, their holes, you see him come off of the woods there, the wind doesn't really come into play a whole lot until after maybe 80 feet down this tunnel. So you can't feel it a whole lot. You can't really read it really well. And then as soon as your disc gets out there, then all of a sudden your disc gets affected. And you see here Noah throwing a disc where the powder, he's getting some grip there, flying off the disc there. And so that's a really good crush from Noah. Fortunately, on the left side of the fairway, we're going to have to see what his line looks like when he gets up there. But that's a big crush.
Yeah, he should have a hyzer line to the basket from over there. But I'm not sure what kind of power he has. We haven't seen an absolute crush out of any of these players other than Willie, really.
And Willie,
not that they don't have it, but we haven't seen a full rip.
Yeah. Well, the course doesn't really.
It's really a controllable force. Yeah.
It's more of everything's at that 300 to 400 range, and it's a lot of control through the woods and not a lot of even this hole. Even though it's 778 feet, and you think, well, why don't you just smash a disc down the center? As Ian rips a great one looking right down the middle. Really, this is a tighter fairway than it looks, and leaving yourself too far right or left, you could find yourself in a lot of trouble. As he finds himself over where Reed was in round 1, over in that right side.
Yeah, looking like a crush up from Ian off the tee, but just a little bit too much turnover, and he's instantly dead for that 3.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a tough time getting that 4.
So here's Dan.
This is a smash.
This is a really good shot from him, and it needs a little skip to the left. Yes, it does, and so that'll be a good look for him to get up and down for 4. That's ideal, right? So he put himself in a position where he couldn't get a 3, like you said. So he reevaluates where does he have to throw to get himself a 4 look, and he did so beautifully.
He's going to have a throw-in line. I'm not sure if Dan's he's not really the throw-in type. He's kind of a make it or layup kind of guy.
He's a realist.
Yeah, and I mean,
and
it reflects his rating because he plays such a smart game.
Yes.
A lot of players get into trouble trying to make everything.
Yeah. Try to go for eagles when
they have great rounds and they have horrible rounds.
Yeah.
And Dan's the kind of person that has
consistent.
Yeah, a ton of really good rounds.
Yep. I mean, look at his score right now. He's 2 down for the round. He's 5 down for the day. So if he goes 1 under in those last 3 holes, he'll literally shoot 3 down, 3 down.
He's technically hot for the card.
Yeah, he is right now. Willie, not a roller player at all. I talked to him over at States when we featured him there as well. He doesn't throw a lot of rollers at all. So when he's throwing a roller, it's because he has no other options. So, but actually not a horrible result as he's out in the fairway. So hopefully you'll have a look from there.
So he's going hyzer. Okay, this doesn't have the power to get to the basket, but it looks perfect other than that, though. Yeah. Excellent placement shot, bit off a lot of distance. He should be able to put that underneath the cage for his tap-in 4.
Right, and here's Willie now. This is a play similar to what he had in round 1, and he just needs to leave this not on the ground, and he does so. This is good height, but he turned it over just a little too much. And so he's going to have an outside look. Probably going to have to go up and down for 5, maybe a throw in from that 60 feet area.
Yeah, Willie's starting to get into trouble here with just too many pars on the day.
Or just like random like misput. Like he's had 2 now where he's just like misfired right.
So close to having the perfect round.
That was spectacular. Great approach shot.
And this really is a par 5. And this is a par 5 that's going to have a lot of birdies on it from players like this because they're all excellent. But it really is a par 5. It's not.
Yeah, it is a true par 5.
Like a 4 feels awesome here.
You may notice now you can start to see it sprinkling down. The precipitation which occurred on hole 16 in round 1 is now reoccurring here on round 2 as well. It's almost deja vu as the rain starts coming down. And it's not just pure rain. It's cold, it's miserable, and it's kind of like almost slushy a little bit. It's miserable conditions are only getting worse at this moment as these players are starting to bundle up, trying to get their hoods back on. Even Noah, who's been in great spirits the entire day, is bundling up here. Ooh, that looked like a good run from Bryce.
Got a little wind action in there. You can see that
a little bit of
slight air bounce that he didn't create with the nose angle of the disc. That definitely bounced from turbulence.
And you can see it starting to rip now. It's turning into more of like a slushy snow.
And then Dan put himself a little longer than he wanted on his approach and just tested himself a little bit too much on the putt.
Especially with this much wind. Like, you can see it definitely affecting Noah. He's squinting. He's barely able to see.
When he approached, it was during a completely different weather.
Right.
And that would probably be a fine place to be on a regular day. And all of a sudden the sleet comes down and it makes the putt more difficult.
Yeah, this is miserable. I know the guys were talking about it after this hole. They're just like, well, this is a fun day to play disc golf. Really, the weather has just been changing nonstop the entire round. It's just making it really difficult for these guys to get into a groove, especially in the second round. You could see the sun come out, and then the sun go away, and then the wind come back, and then the wind go away, and now it's kind of accumulating back into like Michigan's wintry, snowy weather here. Ian showing us how to putt with an umbrella in his hand.
Everyone's got a sponsored umbrella on this car. It looks good.
Willie having to put his cool jacket away for his rain jacket instead, trying to keep his hands warm, excuse me. And if you notice there, that little orange mini, that is his mini. We actually found it.
No way.
On the way through the round, we found his mini. He gave it back. I have my mini back in my pocket at this point. So hole 17 now, 342 feet, par 3. Pretty standard hyzer line. We talked about it in round 1 too. People often find themselves 40 to 80 feet short, or they throw it into the pine tree long, and I'm not really sure why. And here the weather really got nasty. You see here from the camera angle that the weather really started getting bad, and it kind of messed up the camera lens there from the main camera. So it's just going to be the catch cam for this particular hole. We actually get it fixed before we get into hole 18, so it'll be back.
These touchscreen cameras here don't agree with the rain. The camera shoots okay, but your touchscreen's a little messed up.
Yeah, it's not helping things at all, and you can see some throws here that the wind's definitely affecting. A beautiful looking disc there.
Now, it sounds strange to leave this hole short or long, especially after these two drives look not perfect, but very good.
Yep, distance-wise at least, yeah.
I mean, if you look back on round 1, it's exactly like you said, where almost none of the drives got even in the circle.
Right.
It's so strange.
But luckily, on hole 2, like lead card fashion, right, these guys are making the adjustment from round 1 properly. They're hitting their lines. They're getting around this pine tree, which is really what you got to do. Noah, unfortunately, hitting through it. So he's going to leave himself short, probably 60 feet. But
lucky to even get through, though.
Right. That is a point, so he'll have a putt at it still. But these guys are making the adjustment.
That one's long.
This one's going to be a little deep.
Ooh, just hooked up. He stalled it just enough.
Just enough to give himself a look. I think that was Willie's disc right there. Well, let's see when we get around here to putting, and that giant white blob right there.
Is that a CTP?
That's a mushroom.
No way.
Yeah, someone knocked a mushroom over and put it underneath the basket.
There is a flag. Was there an ace here?
There was an ace on this hole.
That's definitely the CTP then.
Yes, it is. And longest putt.
Yeah, sure.
First two guys here.
Putting from the pad ain't bad.
Putting from the pad. First two guys just a little short with this weather. It's kind of hard to read now. Get a good line on the putt there. As Bryce does a pretty good job of reading that one. It ends up just a touch on the am side and kisses out.
Bryce has just had a roller coaster of a day.
Yeah.
Good player. He had 1,000 rated first round.
Yep.
I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's no slouch.
Man,
right?
Rough time on the on the second round here.
Just kind of like you had mentioned earlier, just getting absolutely crushed on every decision he's making, like worst case scenario, just kicks kind of thing. Like it's not that his decision is bad; it's just that the resulting is just he's getting punished randomly. So good birdies though from Dan and from Willie. So both of them are able to sneak away with a birdie on this one, which is a much needed one from Willie. He really needs to be under par here.
And then with Noah putting it through that tree there and not being able to convert his birdie, that puts Dan in a hard second place here. Unclear where Reed is.
Yep.
Because he's already done with 18. He's back on hole 1 right now.
Correct.
And we can't actually talk to him.
Yep. So we don't know how these panned out for him, but hole 18 now, 362 feet. Most of these players are going to go wide right of that pine tree off the tee and try to hang it really wide, probably 4 to 420 power, trying to hyzer it into that gap. We're just going to...
Yeah, this is that stall shot that most of the players have on this at this level. Is they're trying to get something with their nose way up, just like Dan's doing here. You can even turn it over, but with the nose up, it'll stop at some point in the air and hyzer back down. Yep. It's really difficult to control the distance on that kind of shot, but all 5 of these players are
more than capable.
Yeah, more than capable of having that sort of control.
Dan likes to go on the inside of that tree, and he literally probably was a foot away, either left to missing that tree, and he just nixed it and went
I think
short.
that's a power consideration.
Yeah.
Dan can throw 400, 450 perfect, but
with this weather too,
he has a sort of control where he's better at doing the flex line.
Yep. And the weather is making it harder to grip disc right now too, so it might have been that in consideration. And so Ian threw this disc, and the card was kind of like rooting for it to go in, but that is the practice basket. And so he's actually long here. He's gonna have to kind of go up and down from there to save his par, but he was actually long and almost skip aced it.
Yeah, it's black ace.
Yeah, from the do you even call it a black ace considering it's a practice basket?
I'll call it a black ace. Ian, I'm pulling for you.
We just wanted a real tournament ace, right? Is what we want.
Yeah.
Good shot there from Bryce, leaving us with Noah. And Noah also does not opt to go wide right hyzer here. He likes to go up the gut, and he threw this a little too low. And I don't know how to describe this exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
So he had just enough hyzer that it got on edge on those leaves there, and he spun through. He must have had a lot of torque on that disc. He must have been still spinning super fast.
So Dan trying to go up and down from his spot, and Dan doing textbook.
So pending tap-ins, Dan and Noah are going to be tied for second?
Noah needs to tap this in to give himself a shot at second place. Noah's still in good spirits.
Oh, this is longer than tap-in. It's not as close as I thought, but this is to tie for second. Oh, Noah.
Just off of that right lip. Still giving some finger guns, so he's still in high spirits, though.
Well, that's the Noah story of the day. He almost parred the entire course.
Yeah. And so, to be fair, Noah knew going into this round that his final position, compared to some other players on the tour for final points, he only needed to beat certain people. So he knows based on where like Ian is at and where Bryce is at and some of the other guys, he knew where he needed to finish relatively, and I think he knew being at this position leaves him in a fine spot. So I think he's still in high spirits because I think he knows where he's going to end up still in those final points. Willie tapping this in.
12, Willie, I think should be good enough.
Willie said, going into this hole, right before he tapped it in, said, I need this birdie. He said, if I miss this birdie, I bet Reed will get me. So he's tapped that in, and so now we're waiting for Reed to come back to get final
So
results.
Willie's 2 under on round 2 is tied with Reed's round 1, who we believe to be hot on chase card.
Yes.
And that puts Reed in a position where he has to match Willie's 1049 round.
Yes.
1049 rated round from round 1.
Which Willie fully understands that is a possibility, and Reed shoots 9 down.
Oh my gosh.
1 stroke off from tying it, so Willie was not wrong. He needed the last putt to get it. And so Willie will take away the W here, 1 stroke off of Reed, who was so close.
And then rounding out the podium here, we have Sancho coming back. We saw him round 1. Go back if you haven't seen it already.
Yep.
But he shot pretty well round 1. Got himself on the chase card. Not exactly where he wanted, but awesome third place here.
Yeah, for sure. And so just great shooting from a lot of people in the second round. It definitely impacted us, the guys here on our lead card here, especially with putting and just weird weather at weird places. But great finishes from some of these players, including Sancho and Reed, who just shot lights out for round 2.
Yeah, Dan doing just good enough to round out 4th place here.
Solo 4th place, and we had a 3-way tie for 5th. So Noah is tied for 5th place with Daryl and Victor.
It sounds like Daryl and Victor have got to shoot a little hotter round 1 so that we can feature them on some Crew 42 action. So
I agree. Let's get Daryl and Victor. Let's set it up.
Awesome.
Let's get them on some feature cards. So thanks you guys so much for watching. Thank you to our Patreon supporters who help make us get out there and do some great disc golf content and coverage for you guys. So excited to bring you guys and feature some amazing Michigan disc golfers. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out and subscribe to the channels for more content as we move forward. See you guys later.